All right, today we are going to learn how to make fireworks in Desmos. We're going to start off with an x equals sine y. We want to make this higher frequency and lower amplitude. And this is something that you can mess with and decide how you want to tweak those values. But we want to also restrict this so that y is greater than 0. And then this is the key. We are going to add a sliding value and we want to make it so that y is less than that sliding value. Make that sliding value start at 0, and we're going to make this go up pretty high because we're going to do a lot with it. But now as this sliding value changes, it's like the firework getting shot off. Okay, so this is the most important thing to understand for this project. It's how to make things fade out. So this value up here is how transparent the value is, right? So let's say that we want our firework trail to fade off by the time a equals 10. We want it to go pretty fast. So I'm actually going to make y equal to less than 2a. And then we're just going to make this so that by the time a equals 5, this is gone. So we can say 1 over 5 times a, 1 minus 1 over 5 times a. And now by the time a equals 5, that's going to disappear. Okay. If you want it to fade away a little bit slower, you can change this fraction to a smaller value. You can make it 1 over 9, and that's going to make it hang out a little bit longer. But if you do that, what we have to do is we have to cap y at 10 because that's where our firework is going to go off. So we don't want it to go higher than that. But then you can see the trail fades away. Okay, so now let's add our firework. So we're going to have it happen up here at 0, 10. So what we want to do is use our good old point slope form, y minus 10 equals just x because we're at x equals 0. Okay, that makes a little line. And then we're going to make this so x is greater than 0. We'll do some other tweaks later, but that's just our starting point. Okay, we want to make a lot of these lines with different slopes to kind of simulate a firework. So I'm going to make a list, and these are going to be our slopes. So I'm going to start with 0, 0.5, 1, and 1.5. Okay, if you put this in front of x, that's going to make lines that all have those slopes. Okay, now we can keep adding, and I like to do it like this because I like to pick specific slopes. So like 2.5 looks good to me. Might try like 4, jump up to like 8. Okay, I think that's enough. So we have our lines going off. Okay, now we don't want them going off forever. We want them to kind of come out over time like a firework. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to make a circle. So I'm going to go x squared plus y minus 10 squared, and we'll start with equals 1. Okay, and then watch this. If we say less than 1, if we make this a condition for our line, it's going to make it so that it only exists inside that circle. Okay, so the reason this is nice is we can now attach our slider to our circle so that our circle grows over time. Okay, so we don't want this to happen until about a equals 5 because that's when we're going to be up at 10 for the explosion. So we're going to make it a minus 5. So then at 5, our circle is going to start getting bigger at equals 5. Okay, so we're going to make that change up here as well. So we're going to say, where did I put that? Oh, it's down here. Okay, so we're going to say that we're less than a minus 5. Okay, get rid of this now. That was just for guidance. And now these are going to kind of model that circle. Okay, so now we want other quadrants of our fireworks. So what we can do is we can make it so we can put a negative here, and that reflects it down. And then we can go again, and we can make it so x is actually less than 0. And then we can do that here as well. So then we can go down here. We can say x is less than 0. And now we have, oops, did I just copy the wrong one? Make this positive. Okay, all right. So now we have our 4 quadrants, okay? Trail goes up, firework goes off. Okay, we don't want it to go off forever, right? We want it to fade away over time. So this is another time where we're going to use that value of transparency. And this is the cool thing. We want to make it so it appears and then disappears at specific values. We want it to appear at 5. And then let's say we want it to disappear. How big do we want to make it? 9. You know, we can make it disappear at like 10. That's fine. Okay, so we're going to actually use a quadratic value now, right? So I'm going to say x minus 5, x minus 10, make it negative. Okay, I want my transparency to follow this path. So the thing appears, okay, it's going to hit a max transparency. It's going to come back down and disappear. Okay, we want to make this flatter. So in this case, it's going to peak at a transparency of 0.6. I want it to peak a little bit higher than that. So now it's going to peak at a transparency. 1 is the highest, but that's fine. So we're going to go to 1. We're going to come back down. It's going to disappear. Okay. So we want this to go with our value of A. So we're going to say A minus 5, A minus 10. Okay. And we're going to make that the transparency of our line. Okay. Let's just test it with the first quadrant. So 5, it appears and it disappears. Okay, appears, disappears. Okay, so we want to do that for all of them. So I'm just going to copy and paste that in to all of our transparency values. Okay, see how it looks. Explodes, goes off. Okay, cool. So now what I want to do, I'm going to make these lines a little bit smaller. And then I'm going to add some more, I'm going to change the colors and add a couple more pieces to have different colors involved. Okay, so I'm gonna make those smaller. Okay, so now if I make a copy of our first quadrant, okay, let's say I want this to be like blue. Okay, I want this to be I don't know, like orange. You can try some different colors, pink. Okay, so to make these show up, I'm gonna put a 0.8 in front of my slope and a 0.5. So that's gonna make them all slightly offset. And I'm gonna repeat this process for all 4 quadrants. So here we go. Okay, this is going to be 0.8. This is going to be 0.5. Orange, pink. Okay, that's looking nice. A couple more times. Orange, pink. Forgot to change. Okay, so we got to go 0.8, 0.5. And these are values you just mess with. It just makes it so the list is slightly offset from the one we've already made so that we don't have to make a new list. Just kind of an efficient way to do this. Orange, pink. Okay. And you can use whatever colors you want. You just have to add the colors like I've done up here. I added a couple colors and I didn't even end up using this one, but now you have those in there. Okay, so now we have our firework. Let's see how this looks if we play this. Okay, cool. That's perfect. So yeah, now, I mean, the only really thing to do now is obviously you can make cooler fireworks. You can make different shapes. You can make multiple. But there's all kinds of things you can do with this now. Again, the biggest thing is just understanding how the transparency values work and how to get things to fade in and out. Maybe I'll make my trail like a white color. All right, and then, okay, again, let's watch it play. Okay, so then this is how I use Desmos to record. So I have Desmos just installed into my, as a Chrome extension. You can make it as a Firefox extension, whatever you use. And we have this thing fading away by the time A equals 10. So that's where we're going to stop it. And we'll just make our step like 0.25. So what this is going to do is it's going to make A go 0, 0.25, 0.5, all the way up to 10. It's going to take screenshots and then string it into our recording. So we'll capture it. There it goes. All right. And then we just have to export it and see how it turned out. Okay. Kind of cuts off, but you can see how that worked off. Maybe I can, yeah, here we go. Okay, yeah, there you go. There's our recording. So now you can make multiple, you can make your own fireworks show. All right. So follow for more math art ideas, and thanks for your support.